Welcome to episode 3 of the Chronic Back Pain Roadmap. In this episode, we're going to look at restoring and optimizing our breathing. No matter what the root cause of your pain, restoring and maintaining proper breathing is going to help to resolve the issue at its root cause. I place a huge emphasis on breathing because it's simple, highly effective, and free. If mobility issues are driving your back pain, breathing will help. If hormonal issues are driving your back pain, breathing will also help. If it's nutritional, mental, emotional, mechanical, no matter what it is, breathing will help. And when issues arise in the body, breathing is one of the first functions that gets affected, so it's really important to optimize our breathing. I like to think of breathing as a sort of dimmer switch for your body's rest and digest state. Your rest and digest state is what your body needs to be in order to heal. So mastering our breathing is a great way of mastering our body's self-healing mechanisms and engaging them whenever we need them. Now, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of different ways of breathing, different styles that all claim to have the unique benefits. I found that once you stick to a couple of simple principles, most of them have the same general benefits. The key is to find one that you can easily stick to, so try a few out and see what makes the most sense. But for the purpose of simplicity, I'm going to share the governing principles and only a couple of different techniques. You can then play around with these and see what works for you and what you enjoy the most. So let's start with the principles. The overall aim of any breathing practice for pain reduction and health promotion is going to be to slow down the rate of breathing as much as possible. This means that your primary focus should be on controlling the length and rate of your inhalations and exhalations. If you can control these, you can slow your breathing in times of stress and control the way your body responds. We'll cover this in more detail, though, towards the end of this episode. The next thing we want to consider is our breathing posture. No matter what technique you use, you should start with this specific posture to set up. So you're going to keep your lips sealed, your jaw relaxed, so your teeth shouldn't be clenching and they should be resting slightly apart. Your tongue should be placed to the roof of your mouth. You can think of it filling up the space of your palate, much like a suction cup. And whether you're sitting, standing, or lying down, you should keep your eyes looking straight forward. Now they can be closed if you want, as long as they're pointing straight forward. Keeping the eyes looking forward will keep the throat open and unobstructed. Another way of thinking about this is to remain upright and tall and keep your head over your shoulders rather than slouching forward or arching back too much. Now, I'd like you to take a minute to breathe while maintaining this posture. You can learn a lot about your body by doing this. So pause this video now and take a minute to breathe while maintaining this posture. Just breathe at whatever rate is comfortable. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video and tried that breathing posture for a minute. What did you notice? Was it hard to breathe through your nose? Was it hard to keep your jaw relaxed and not clenched? Was it hard and unnatural to keep your tongue to the roof of your mouth? These things can give us an indication of what your body may be struggling with. First of all, if you struggle to breathe through your nose, you may want to focus on this, as this could be a driving factor behind promoting a stressed physiological state in your body. Simply put, as long as this persists, your body is going to struggle to overcome pain. An inability to breathe through your nose can be caused by trauma to the nose and by food or substance sensitivities. So if you've previously injured or fractured your nose, you may have your answer and you may benefit from working with someone who is knowledgeable and proficient with cranial bone issues. I can put you in touch with some therapists, or you can look at the resources included in the description of this episode. I'll also include a simple mobility technique to help with this, which may be helpful. Now, if you haven't suffered any direct injuries to the nose, this congestion or inability to breathe through the nose is likely physiological, meaning your body is reacting to something internally that is either creating congestion or restricting blood flow to the area. You could pay attention to your ability to breathe throughout the day and see if it changes. If nasal congestion fluctuates and diminishes at different times throughout the day, it's likely due to something you're eating or coming into contact with. A simple way to relieve this is to take a deep breath in through your nose if possible, hold your breath, pinch your nose, and tilt your head from side to side about 10 times, then exhale. If your nose is cleared, then it's more likely that you're eating or coming into contact with something that you're sensitive to. This can usually be dealt with on your own if you're happy to experiment, or you can work with a professional who can fine-tune your nutrition to your individual needs. Again, I've included some resources below, and you can always message me with any questions, and I'll try to point you in the right direction. In any case, addressing your ability to breathe through your nose should be a high priority for you going forward. Okay, now, looking back to your minute of breathing practice, did you struggle to relax your jaw? If so, monitor this over time and at different times during the day and see how prevalent it is. It's an indication that you're quite stressed, particularly if it's fairly constant. You might ask yourself then if you're prone to anxiety, mental and emotional stress, and tension in general. This is very common with people who suffer with chronic back pain, and I'll cover this in more detail in a later episode. For now, a daily breathing practice should help to begin to reduce overall stress in the body until we look at more specific solutions. No matter what you struggle with during the breathing practice, including a simple breathing routine will begin to restore your control over your health and give you a foundation to start creating positive changes in your pain. So now let's look at a couple of breathing techniques to get you started. The simplest one is called box breathing. This one is particularly good if you struggle to focus and if the idea of meditation is unpleasant to you. It's very simple. You're going to inhale, hold, exhale, and hold in a box pattern. So that means a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, and a 4-second hold, and then repeat. So you can then change the amount of seconds if you need to once you follow that box pattern. It makes it really easy to follow and get into a relaxed and focused state without overthinking things. So let's take a minute now to practice this method, remembering to maintain your breathing posture if possible. So that's lips sealed, jaw relaxed, eyes looking forward, your throat open, and inhale and exhale through your nose if you can. So pause the video now and try about a minute of box breathing to get the hang of it. Okay, so hopefully you tried that. Now let's move on to a slightly more advanced method. This one is called 7-11 breathing. The aim here is very simple. 7-11 simply refers to a rough ratio you should follow for your inhale and exhale. So the aim is to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation. If you inhale over 7 seconds, you exhale over 11 seconds. Or, for example, if you inhale over 5 seconds, you would exhale roughly over 8 seconds, and so on. These aren't exact ratios, they're just a ballpark for you to work with. Extending the exhalation is really important because it's going to help you restore the ability of your diaphragm to fully lengthen and relax. As you try this breathing exercise, you can assess your ability to slow down and draw out your exhalation. The more control you have, generally, the more control you'll have over your body's stress response. As long as your diaphragm struggles to lengthen fully and relax, you will struggle to really reduce stress in the body. This is important because the length of your diaphragm can also affect the movement and position of the spine. So this will also be beneficial in cases where your pain is of mechanical or structural origin. And again, this is why breathing is so powerful, because it treats the entire body, particularly when our focus is on resolving back pain. So, back to our 7-11 breathing method. You should take a minute now to see how much you can elongate your exhalation. So start with the 7-11 breathing pattern. See if you can manage that. If not, shorten it until you can manage and work on creating that control over your breath. So pause the video and try that for the next minute or so. Hopefully you tried that for the past minute and got a sense of your ability to control your exhalation. All I'd like you to do now is to commit yourself to one of these breathing methods, to take a couple of minutes at least once per day to practice and see what you gain over the next week. I'll also include a simple mobility exercise you can use in conjunction with the breathing for added benefits. So for the next week, spend at least 2 minutes per day on one of these breathing methods, either box breathing or 7-11 breathing. I'd like you to practice these and begin to learn about how your body responds and how much control you have over your breath. As you become more confident and your breathing capacity improves, you can increase the length of the breathing phases. As I mentioned, all the resources are included in the description. If you have any questions or want something clarified, don't hesitate to get in touch. In the next episode, we'll look at mobility training and whether it's the right course of treatment for your needs. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the Back Pain Coach on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and sign up for the newsletter for all the latest resources. Thanks again and have a great day.